Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner. So, Dan and Yanyas, by the way, we wanted to talk at Monkey, Dog, Star, right? Because all of you saw that. That's a monkey and a dog and a star. It's for the coffee shop I used to work at, Pete's Coffee. That's their little emblem. They did a thing. But anyway, that just goes to show you how so many things can be misconstrued or maybe seen differently. But anyways, Agnes Vivarelli, how are you doing today?
Hello, Dan. I'm good. Happy to see you for our monthly whatever
Right? We haven't
session.
named it. Yeah. Our thing. Our thingy. Yeah. Our Cheerio. I don't know. Yeah.
Cheerio.
I know. You know. So, yes. Now we're going to talk about something kind of cool. Now, is this Neville Goddard? Is he the guy that owns this one, or is this kind of all over the place? Or
I think it was inspired by him. I'm going to dedicate this topic to a lovely woman that I deal with called Rayu. She actually asked me about this and asked that I explore it, and I thought this would be a great subject for you and I to explore together.
Yeah. Exploration's good stuff.
Yep.
Sounds. So okay. So it's kind of a Neville Goddard thing. Let's I guess we're gonna, the short and sweet of it is building imaginal scenes, which I think is key. I mean, it really gets into the whole imaginal work, the whole creative aspect of what we're trying to do. So what is, I already forgot her name. There's a Ray in there somewhere.
Rayu.
Rayu. No. Ray me. Rayu. Do re mi.
Yeah. Ray.
So, what was Rayu's basic question around the concept?
Just exploring.
Just the exploration.
How to build the scenes, like the mechanics of how to. And I thought, that's a good subject, because a lot of people, I mean, we talk about, Neville, you and I, a lot, and about, create a scene, do it before you go to bed. But the how to, we haven't really discussed how you do the scene, what you build, how you build it, how you put it together.
Well, one place I want to do, let's step back from a small section. And so we will get into the how-tos for sure, but even further out, when we are trying to create a scene in the future, say, for example, a lot of people seem to be fond of trying to get relationships going on, be it exes back, be it back together with somebody, be it with someone they're friends with, be it some person they've never met.
Yep.
Are there levels to it? Do we try to figure out multiple scenes? You know what I mean? Like in a movie, how it's like ching, 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 right? And if you have enough of these scenes, it becomes kind of real. Or do we think about like a primary scene and really fill in all the details? And, it's way down the road, so a lot of things obviously have to fill in for that to happen. What are your kind of thoughts on that regard, I guess?
Well, I'll give you an example. When I wanted to travel and I didn't have any money, I wanted to work out a scene where I was in the south of France, I was in London, I was in, the Greek islands, wherever it was. So I'd go through these places one by one. And then I'd be thinking, but there's other places I want to go to, and I don't want to be limited to just those. And then it made the imaginal scene way too long. So I was thinking, okay, Neville talks about implying things. You have to create things that imply the end result that you want. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, okay, how can I imply that I'm traveling without actually visualizing or imagining particular places? So I thought, okay, I want to reduce that, say 4 or 5 places, down to something that's quite short that implies travel. So what I did was I broke it down into 2 sections. Firstly, I would feel myself sitting on the plane, clipping on my seatbelt, taking off.
Oh, by the way, for those of you that don't know, the clasp, it goes in and then it unclasps and then you can pull it out. And here's how you tighten it. Sorry, I always wanted to do that. And the exits, there's 2 on the front, both sides of the wings, and in the back, and then 2 in the front. Sorry. Anyways, just so people can envision the plane flight. I'm just here to help on. Yes, I'm here to help. That's all I'm here to do.
Hey, speaking of a little side salad, and when you and I were just talking about comedy,
a Waldorf.
You know how really boring those ads are on the plane where they tell you all the stuff and you kind of just yawn and look out the window when you've been on a plane a few times?
Yeah.
I'm going to check out the British Airways. They've got all the comedians from their country.
No, really?
Doing different sections. Yeah, the guy from Love Actually's in it.
No way.
Yeah, it is so brilliant. I'm actually going to put the link to the YouTube down below.
Yeah, that's a side salad worth having right there. That light, and it's light dressing too, people. Light dressing, not a lot of calories. Just remember that. Remember
light dressing.
Good for you. Yes.
But it was rivetingly not only good, but funny. So
nice.
There we go. Side dish.
Nice. That's a delicious side dish.
Back to where we were. What was I talking about? Oh, the two scenes, the airplane and the clipping. So I would imagine these two scenes that would imply, as Neville talked about, me traveling. So get on the plane, put the bag up, clip the thing in, sit back, look out the window, feel that feeling of the jet starting. You move to the runway and then you feel it take off and then you feel like the tail's dragging as you go up. So that was the first thing that implied I was traveling. The second thing was, if I was traveling, I would have a lot of passport stamps in my passport. So what I did was I imagined holding my passport and I would flip through the pages and I would see all these different stamps. And what I did was I went to Google Images and I looked up all these stamps from all the countries that I wanted to go to. Now, these days, they don't do passport stamps because it goes through that little ATM machine and they're biometric passports. But my head is still used to seeing stamps, so that worked for me. So I did the flipping and I did the taking off in the plane. I did not go imaginally through all my countries. So I reduced it down to two things that I could do in literally probably 5 minutes. So doing that was much easier. It was a much tighter scene. Image-wise, it was much more condensed and it was much more simple rather than looking at all these monuments and, smashing my optic nerve with too many tourist attractions.
Right. Now, from my standpoint, I think I've done something quite similar. As we've talked about, you and I've kind of got this new career job thing going on. And what I manifested in that regard is really, professionally at least, really what I was after. I'm working from home, which is awesome, but I get to travel a little bit, and I enjoy that little bit of travel, a little bit of going someplace, kind of experiencing their little area and, having the company pay for it while you're there, which is always nice, right? Yeah. But you got that whole experience, and you don't have to do it all the time, and it's, it just kind of keeps things fresh and lively. So I managed to do all that with everything else. And it's that when you kind of, at least in my case, I kind of put out, and it's sort of like with my house too. I guess I'm going to fold that in while I'm on the subject. Like I need to get it painted. I needed to get the floors done right. There's this whole, I needed more money. I needed kind of a different kind of position than what I was currently doing.
Yeah.
So I needed these levels of freedom that I now kind of have, especially the working from home. And in that kind of created this perfect scenario, and it came to me. It was them reaching out to me. And that's, again, it's when we manifest what we're really after. What is it that you're really trying to accomplish? I think it's good to have that. For me, it's just because I don't know what the heck all the little hows are going to be. And I've been very open and free. And that's been my kind of take on it. I'm not very structured. I like just kind of going where stuff takes me next week.
Yeah.
And this sort of popped out of the blue. And it was just like, wow, I could not have picked a better scenario. And I was plenty happy where I was working. It wasn't even an issue of not liking that. And everything was working fine. But then, boom, this happened. It's like, oh my gosh, that's like even better. So
yeah.
That's one of the things, but I like where you're at, because instead of doing a lot of plane trips individually, that's ridiculous. Like the concept of I am at a place where I can travel abundantly over and over, here and there, wherever I want, where if I want to just pick it up and take a movie camera with me and, and a microphone and throw that in a suitcase and off I go, I can really technically work anywhere, right? I mean, I'm working from home, so I'm the same way. As long as I got internet, I can go anywhere.
Yep.
So it is that level of freedom where you can just kind of go, and now all of a sudden money's not an issue. So I like the fact that you build the scenes from that regard. But, and here's the question I posed to you, I do think there's probably people that maybe have a harder time looking that far out with their particular situation, or maybe that far out is too far and limiting it to a first date, for example.
Yeah.
So let's micro step it back. Let's give an example for somebody that is trying to get a situation going, trying to, maybe they're getting back together. Maybe it's a first date. Yep. Maybe it's a first date as they're back together, right? Whatever the case is. How do they get from right now, I don't know, I texted them yesterday and I still haven't heard back from them. That's where I am right now, to I'd like to have a first date with them. What are you thinking is a good step for a person in that particular situation?
As in building an imaginal scene?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd keep it really simple, where you would just create a scene of your first date. So it's like, okay, where do you want to go? It's like an ordinary moment of a first date would be.
Do you bother, and I'm asking this in the sense of knowing that you and I have these discussions with people, but do you imagine that they'll text you back? Do you imagine that first phone call? Do you go to all those little micro steps between, or like you were saying, just kind of stick to what is it that you want to experience, right?
I think doing all that just really dilutes it. And then it wears you down mentally. And then you go, oh God, I got to go to bed and put in all that detail. I can't be bothered.
Well, think about it too. It's like you're specifying something that may not be right for the occasion, may not be like, maybe I can't text you right now because I'm on an airplane, right? Like I'm literally on an airplane right now. There's absolutely no way I can possibly text you. Yep. And you're sending me a text going, why hasn't he texted me? Yep. Well, I'm on an 8-hour plane flight and I'm not paying for the Wi-Fi or whatever shit, right? I mean, come on. That's not. Yeah. So again, so who knows what's actually happening, but I think people get so carried away with the little micro steps when what is it that you really want? That's the imaginal scene.
Exactly. Hallelujah. That's exactly right. And it's pinpointed focus on that one.
Right.
It's like a photograph. You're sitting in the restaurant, the candle's on. They've just put the lamb roast, the mashed potato, and the peas in front of you.
Delicious. I'm getting ready to put a napkin in my thing right now. I'm gonna have some of that. Exactly.
I've used that meal, peas, lamb roast, mashed potato, in many of my imaginal scenes because it's one of my favorite meals.
Well,
so if I'm going to have a meal with someone, or that's the meal in front of me. That's what I use. So I use it repeatedly.
What's the pie, the shepherd's pie that's not lamb, that's beef? What's that one called?
That's just a shepherd's pie with the mashed potato on top.
Yeah, but I thought shepherd's pie was lamb.
No, not necessarily. It could be beef.
Oh, you can get a beef shepherd pie? Okay, I thought it had a different name. All right, cool.
I love
because shepherd's leaf. It's so good. Man, is that English? It's delicious. Whatever.
It's
delicious.
Definitely, it's English or Australian, probly English.
Freaking magic is what it is. Well, in Australia, it'd be, I don't know, kangaroo. And I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, of course.
Not a bad idea, actually.
No, right? Yeah, they're big, giant jerks is what they are. So to go back on track, to go back to what we were talking about. So we paint the imaginal scene, and for those people that are looking outward, like I have a hard time seeing past the first date maybe at this moment. So I imagine the first date like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Now the next step, I think, for those people is like, all right, now think for a second, because to me it's an exercise of thought, right?
Yeah.
Think for a second, after your first date, what do you think the next thing you're going to do? What would be the next fun place to go? Maybe maybe an amusement park, or maybe a movie, or maybe another dinner, or maybe and start imagining the next scene, because that, I think, is also where this whole concept gets really beautiful, is you can build scenes or stack them even outward. Yeah. And I think there's a power to that, because it implies to the universe, hey, I'm sticking around for a while with this concept. I'm seeing it out a ways. Yeah. Much like probably you and your special person. Like, I'm going to be, figuring out a way to move out to that country. Like, there's a level of complexity that comes into play when you're I don't know what all's got to happen. There's a whole bunch of things that I'm sure I don't know I even need to deal with to do this, but I'm doing it, and boom. Yeah. And so I think that's a really great example of, don't worry about all the stuff in between. Imagine the final step, or if you're having a hard time, expanding it, then imagine one step further maybe than where you're at. So I'm curious what you think.
In saying that, like, I've got people that say, okay, I want to have a baby, but I don't even have a partner. So I think, okay, yes, you can imagine having a baby, but for that to be believable to your mind, it's probably going to be a bit of a jump. So better off focusing on an imaginal scene that feels reasonably believable, as in that you meet somebody. And
wait. You mean meet somebody before having a child? Wait, what?
Might be an idea.
Anyas, that's insanity. What?
Yeah. It's better for a hatchling to have two parents, really.
That even know each other, two parents, not just test tube A, test tube B. Oh,
exactly.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyway.
So, and hey, rewinding back a little bit further to that airplane thing that I was talking about, building the imaginal scenes for that.
Yes.
The other thing I used to do, I just remembered it, is when I would be out and about just wandering around shopping, or, on my walk or exercising, whatever, if I saw a plane going past up above me, I would look at it, I'd stop for a second, and I'd go, I love flying in planes. And I would just enjoy that moment. But the thing is, it's like now I don't have to say it anymore, because I'm traveling all the time, and I do not want to increase traveling anymore.
Yeah, right. You're like, I'm doing plenty. Done. Yeah, I just happened to me the other day. I was smelling like diesel fumes or something from a car in front of me, and I'm like, that smells so much like plane fuel for some reason right now. I'm like, oh no, too much of that right now.
Too much. Yeah. Well, Abraham Hicks talks about having demanifestation sessions when you start manifesting stuff. I remember thinking, who would need to demanifest? And I thought, because I didn't have anything at that time. Right. So when I remembered that the other day, I thought, now I'm at the point where, traveling 4 to 5 times a year is enough. And
that's where they joke right now, and this is not meant to sound as bad as it's possibly. It's like a first world problem, though, right? I mean, it really kind of is. It's just...
it absolutely is, Dan. It is.
And I mean, I'm sure the places where those problems aren't happening aren't exactly getting internet right now. They're not Wi-Fi-ing, but it's just so.
I know.
It's amazing.
And our parents wouldn't have had this opportunity.
Oh my goodness!
In the internet age.
Right. Well, they were busy walking uphill both ways everywhere. Yeah. I don't know how you do that, but that's just a waste of time. So you should switch directions somewhere.
Yes. Anyway, or get one of those potato sacks and slide.
Oh.
Remember the potato sack?
From Vivarelli. I know exactly what I'm just saying. Like, that's that was like a science breakthrough. That was right there. That was like the slip and slide. Did you guys have a slip and slide ever? Did they have one of those? The stupid yellow plastic thing that water sprung on?
Yeah,
and you could slide down it on your...
I've got that from my Canadian days, I think.
What'd they call it, though, in Australia?
I don't remember it in Australia. It was from Canada. I don't remember what it's called, but I just had a flash of the potato sack.
Hey. That sounds good. So I think we covered this concept, right? Building imaginal scenes. And a lot of any other final things you're thinking, but I think the important thing is, like, what can you imagine far enough out, for sure, and you build that scene, you add things to it, right? I mean, I think that's a part of this too, is if today you've made it what it is, and then tomorrow look at it and be like, whoa, what additional detail can I possibly add to it? I've certainly heard that concept thrown around as well, that maybe is.
But also, Dan, I don't know if you've had this experience. You build an imaginal scene and you build kind of the skeleton of it, the bare bones, you go through it, you know, you get distracted because it's not really anchored into your head yet. And then if you're doing it repeatedly and you say you do it for a few weeks, I find some new detail finds me. Like, I'm walking 3D through here. Oh, look at that. That painting's on the wall now. That carpet is purple instead of it was colorless before. So you once you get the skeleton structure in, you can kind of use a paintbrush and color it in, or things that you really like will jump into the imaginal scene.
I agree with that. And I think, I mean, from my crazy perspective, I think some of it is too, as we get closer and closer and closer to the reality of it, the reality starts to seep back to us as well. I feel like it's a two-sided thing. And that's just, again, Dan radio style crazy talk. But when we start getting closer and closer to the manifestation's also talking back to us. It's a point in time, if you will. And that's where I feel like sometimes those details, because we don't really care. I don't really care that the carpet's lavender versus purple. Well, the carpet, that'd be a horrible color for carpet, but whatever the hell, but whatever, right? But I mean, I don't care what exact, you know, is it lavender, is it burgundy, is it whatever the shit. And it comes to us getting closer to it. Now all of a sudden it's telling us, hey, here's the color. And you're like, oh yeah, that'll work. That's a beautiful color. Yeah. So it is. I think sometimes like on the details that we don't care about, they start to fill in themselves too, or we find each other, or however we want to see that. I think it's a beautiful thing as the reality comes closer and closer. And I don't know. Yeah. I love the mechanics of it. That's, I think, the part, you know, from my crazy side of things, that's the part that really of law of attraction that fascinates me. It's the mechanics. I get what we think, feel, and do, and that creates a vibration, and that's what attracts. I get that, but it's like the parts within that I think are fascinating. The little moments, the space in between. Like, it's just there's some really cool little magic moments that happen, and when we notice them. But that's totally off topic. That's probably maybe next show we can talk about those crazy moments. But
crazy moments.
So building imaginal scenes.
Yeah.
Anya's Vivarelli style.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and I don't know if this is right, so if not, you can do the one prior. But do you have a new book out? Right?
No, not yet. It's
not quite yet. Oh, it's coming.
All the stories. I've got book 1, book 2 out on Amazon. But yeah, this is the trilogy.
The trilogy.
Yeah, the first one's dedicated to my mom, the second one to my dad, and the third one to my brother. So there's only 4 in the family.
So, but that's coming. So when's that one due?
I don't know. It's got to go to edit, book design, layout, all that stuff. That's really not my forte. Somebody else.
But you talk about it like, listen to her. This Mrs. Writer over here. Well, so it's got to go to book review, and then there's like a panel of people, and there's.
I failed spelling at school. That's why.
Right. I couldn't spell. Yeah. No. I thank God for the little red squiggles. What's wrong with the? Oh yeah, that letter's not supposed to be there. Yeah. Thank God for that. Well, that's fantastic. I appreciate your time, and I hope everyone kind of feels this. Especially Ray person. Rayu. Right? Why can't I remember that? I know it's like a really cool name. And I hope she's okay with the fact that I've just been playing. I'm having fun. It's not anything. It's just me being me. But building imaginal scenes. I think it's huge. That's a great question. It's a great concept. Yeah, I'm glad she brought it up.
Yeah, I am too, because it really ties in with Neville, and it ties in with living from the end, living in the wish fulfilled, living from it, all those concepts that Neville talks about that really are the basic building blocks to, one, Neville's teachings, but two, how I've manifested pretty much everything is from using that one thing. Imagination creates reality.
Absolutely. And from
getting it off the book into the meditation space.
Yep. And without a doubt, from my standpoint, it's like I get this like 45 minutes of 1 month of your time. And that is really where it comes down for me. We could be talking about, shearing sheep.
We could talk about that next time.
You want a sheep shear? Share sheep shearing talk, maybe?
Sheep shearing in Sydney.
Sydney sharing of Sydney sheep shearing stories. Yes, no, absolutely. I think we should do that. That's because there'd be thousands of people that would be lining up for our sheep shearing discussions.
Well,
of course.
Hey, we could do that. Live from some random shed one time.
Live from Crazy Place. That would.
Place.
I don't know.
Outback sheep shearing
exactly. Where all the sheep shearing's happening. It's the central area of the sheep shearing. It's the capital.
You'll have to wear your spider protective proof suit, though. Remember.
I don't like spiders, man. Especially your spiders. You guys have those deadly spiders.
I don't like them either. I look. Once I had a spider in my bed.
That's not okay.
I couldn't sleep for like 6 months without.
No.
I just could not. I had to pull the sheet back, check it all.
No. Here, you burn the house down. You burn the house down, and then you rebuild, and you're fine. No more spiders.
Yeah. And another time I was on the freeway, and a spider crawled up my leg, and it was summer. And I nearly had an accident because I was on the freeway going quite fast. I couldn't get back in the car. I was freaking out.
Was that the one that gave you the spider powers that you now have? Is that why you do all these crazy superpowers that Agnes Vivarelli has?
Spider Woman.
Well, I've talked about your cage fighting, but we're not supposed to. But I mean, the other side of it obviously is your superpowers.
I'm going to get a hat like yours with a Spider Woman.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be like Spider Monkey Star or something crazy.
I just love that logo.
I know it's pretty crazy.
I need you to show me a picture of the person that created that because I'm sure they got a weird mind.
There's something wrong with them. I'm quite sure. Monkey Dog Star. Yes.
Monkey Dog Star.
Boom. There's a monkey. That should be the star, and then there's a dog. But anyway. Well, Agnes Vivarelli, thank you as always. I hope everybody enjoyed, and we will do this again soon, I'm quite sure.
We will, Dan. Thanks for the breaking down of creating. What was it? Building imaginal scenes.
Building imaginal scenes. Thank you. Yes, Ray, you and Ray, all of us. I love this. I'm so sorry. I love it. It's great. That's the best. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.